Welcome to Commander Pop Culture, a place to gather magical information with some laughs, might I add. This is the budget and budget-less versions of Infinite Guideline Station. I'm calling it the Battle Stations, or 2 Battle Stations. I had some fun play with Battle Cruiser and tried fitting Station in there, but it just wasn't working out title-wise, so...
Work in progress.
Why are you interested in this card as your commander? Well, Wizards just changed the rulings where you could run legendary spacecraft or vehicles from the command zone, so that comes live starting the release of this set. The set pre-releases on the 25th, so maybe you're interested in building this if you get lucky and open it this coming weekend. The cool stuff about it: everything you need is in the command zone. Has a massive card advantage trigger from attacks, and you make an army of 2/2s that you could use to, I guess, station the Guideline Station. And once you hit 12, that gives you the payoff of the advantage trigger, where you draw based on the number of multicolored cards in your deck. So this is a giant pile of multicolored cards. Over 50 cards. The deck is 2 or more colors, so this is probably the most color heavy decks I've ever played. The army of 2/2s, it's a win condition. Not only can you be bopping people for 7 damage, but you can go wide with the robots that you make with this as well. So the goal is to get as many 2-colored anthems in play as we can get and win with good old-fashioned combat damage. Pretty darn effective, actually. The one downside about this is the ETB trigger from this puts the robots in tapped, so you can't, I guess, station the station the same turn you play it. That's the one downside of this commander. You sacrifice some tempo for a really sick rubber band effect to snap people back. That does cause you some tempo in terms of being defensive, blocking aggression coming your way, because they'll come in tapped. You won't have any blockers, and then you have to tap them down again to turn this into a body that can attack, so that leaves you vulnerable again. So it's pretty brutal, but I'm going to show you how you can build to avoid those weaknesses and play to your strengths. We want to play this on turn 5 consistently. That means we need to get as many cheap multicolored permanents in play as we possibly can.
What do you mean everyone?
I like anthems in particular because it reduces how much we have to invest into stationing this commander. If we have, say, an anthem that gives +2/+2, instead of having to tap 6 robots, which that would be wild to be making on turn 5, it's unrealistic to have that many permanents, multicolored permanents down before you play the Guideline Station. If you did, that'd be a wet dream. It's not easy to do. But the anthem effects, not only are all of them are 2-colored, they boost our guys, so we don't need as many to, pilot this thing. So it kind of does like a 2-for-1 deal. Like, not only do we make our board more lethal, we fix the problem of getting this thing up and running and flying into space here. And one of the ways we do that is Braid Elf. I got a lot of ideas for this deck from a previous list I had made, where the restrictions were a lot more robust, is the least I could say, because I built Invisit from Karlov Manor, and that had a lot more restrictions because it forced you to play all the guild colors, and you had to evenly divide them up in between all 10 guilds so you get the maximum trigger. And the nice thing about Guideline Station is it doesn't care about the guilds, it just cares that it's multicolored. So I didn't really have to think too much about what I wanted to put in here, other than it has to be fulfilling getting a lot of multicolored stuff into play, which Braid does. We cascade, we get a cascade trigger, and hopefully we hit another multicolored permanent that's of lesser cost and cheated into play, so then we get a big fat trigger from the Guideline Station, both on ETB and on attacks. Tidal Strix is a cheap 2-color permanent that deters aggro, which is obnoxious for us. People are going to be, a little scared of what we're going to be doing in the future. We do hit like a critical mass because we're in all 5 colors. Eventually we just run over everybody. Kind of just points all the little stupid chip damage somewhere else. Keeps our life total nice and high by deterring aggro coming our direction. It's also a body that we could use to station or station. I'm gonna have to coin that. You know what? Let's change the deck to that. I like that name way better. Let's station the station.
Oh, yeah.
I'll have to change the title in the budget less version here. There we go. That's a funny name. Kind of came up with that on the spot. Ethersworn Sphinx. The tokens we make with Infinite Guideline are artifact creatures, i.e. we get a really big cascade trigger for dirt cheap. We invest hopefully only 1 white, 1 blue to cast this spell, and we fire another multicolored permanent. Cathri Remnant, another thing that cascades. It's an annoying blocker because we could regenerate it for 1 black. Korkadine. This is one of our multicolored anthem effects. Gives +3/+0 if we have 3 or more artifacts, which we should have pretty darn consistently when we make a bunch of tokens. High Priest of Penance. It's not Death Touch, but it's like Death Touch. Whenever it's dealt damage, I can destroy an online permanent. So it's even more brutal. So like the thing that kills us, we don't even have to kill that. We could kill anything that's on the board. So like, say the opponent's hitting on us, we can sweeten the pot. We like, come swing my way, this will die, and I'll take care of the permanent that sucks.
Come on, Big Daddy.
It's a good diplomat piece. Archelos. He's symmetrical. He benefits your opponents and hinders our opponents at the same time. So when he's untapped, everybody's stuff comes in untapped. When he's tapped, everyone's stuff comes in tapped. So the way you want to do this, I mean, you'll have summoning sickness, so it'll be hard to tap down the turn it comes down. But after that, what you want to do is play your stuff main phase 1, go to combat, attack with the turtle, and then everyone else's crap will come in tapped. But we like this because it untaps our robots the moment they come down, and it'd be a nice curve from Archelos into the Guideline Station, and then we could use those robots we make to crew the station and beat on people. W Detention. My removal pieces are also multicolored permanents. We get some extra mileage. I wanted to make the triggers from this as consistent as possible. Thus, we're going to be interacting with people at sorcery speed most of the time. That's the drawback of a sick trigger. If you don't think that's going to work in your playgroup, just adjust. Make some changes to this list so it better fits your tables. But this is a $100 budget list. It's a bracket 2. It's meant to be just played amongst your friends if you're not too serious a player, or if you're someone that's trying to make friends. My philosophy when I'm in a new place and I'm trying to, you know, make good with people the first time they meet me, set a good impression, is play underpowered. Don't go right out the gate going hard and, you know, pub stomp people, because that rubs a lot of people the wrong way, and I learned that the hard way. Pro tip advice. And then when people complain to you but that your deck's too powerful, you just tell them the price tag on this, and that might change their minds a little bit. Or they're just bitter that they lost and there's nothing you can do to change their minds. It's just part of interacting with people that like Magic, is not everyone's in the same mental place in terms of accepting a win or a loss. That seems like a basic concept, but the world is a diverse place. None of us have the same background growing up, so you just have to accept that other people learn life lessons. He cares about the guilds. I am not focusing on that in this list, but it should be just decent value. I get to plink something off, hopefully draw some cards every time he deals damage to a player. It has a 6/6 body. Pretty darn good. King Darren, a anthem effect that's multicolored. He also puts counters on himself and makes tokens. More bodies to fuel the station here. General Ferris Rock Carrick. Multicolored, makes multicolored tokens. There are, sorry, I moved my mouse a little bit. There are not a lot of cards that put in multicolored tokens in the game. If you were to Google it or Scryfall it, there's like maybe 1 page worth of stuff, and a lot of them are pretty crappy. So take my word for it. These are the best, I guess, cards that put in multicolored permanent tokens. Everything else is kind of a waste of time. Aowen is removal on a 2-colored body. Jingatha, bunch of mana on a 2-colored body. Anthem effects on a 2-colored body. Artifact creatures get +2/+2. So this is probably one of your better Anthem effects. Robots become 4/4s, and then you only need 3 of them to crew the thing all the way to get the sick trigger. Night of Alum, removal. Corpse Knight, this is a alternate win condition that's on a multicolored permanent. Whenever a creature control enters, we shoot a bunch of life off of our opponents. Cutel, since we are an Anthem list, I don't think I've ever played a list with so many Anthems. If I could tag Anthem in this list, I probably would. If you're looking to play an Anthem deck, this is probably one of the best you could play, but Cutel works with Anthems. If there's a stat difference in the power, i.e. the Anthems, then whenever a creature of ours deals damage to a player, we draw a card. So at max, we can see 3 cards a turn because there's 3 opponents at the beginning of a commander game. Invisit Reborn, this lets you choose one of each color pairing on ETB, so it's a really big heavy hitter for refueling your hand. Now, if you get multiple, say, Azorius permanents, the blue-white permanents, you only get 1. You get 1 of each color pairing. But it's still a lot of cards. You go 10 cards deep, you're probably going to hit multiple cards with this. And it's a 6/6 body. Cruel Celebrant, whenever a creature of ours dies, we alternatively win the game by draining people out. And we gain life, which we could probably benefit from because people are going to hate our guts being all 5 colors. Fabro Elder, just a big, sweet mana dork. We make mana based on the number of colors. For commanders in play, then we get all 5 just to use for whatever. Sire Stagnation, great. Card advantage. Back to the discussion of like our removal, our 2-color permanents. Our card advantage is also 2-color permanents, so that's so we can get our, multicolored count so high.
Always know if the juice is worth the squeeze.
Pursuing those sweet triggers, like I said earlier. All the stuff that we do is at sorcery speed, and it's just the trade-off of being badass. Fagi Warrior, or Wayfarer, sorry. It's all colors, multicolored spells have Convoke, so it means we tap a thing down, and based on the colors that it is, it contributes to the symbol on their thing. So let me read the, italicized part. Your creatures can help cast those spells. Each creature you tap while casting a multicolored spell pays for 1 generic mana, colorless, or 1 mana of the color that creature is. So, for instance, say Fagi Wayfarer's in play and Sire Stagnation's in play. We can tap Sire Stagnation to pay 1 blue or 1 black or a generic color towards the spell that we're casting of a multicolor. That's how it works. Fagi is all 5 colors, so it could be Wooburn. Only 1. You don't get each thing, you have to pick. Just to clarify, if that sounds confusing. I know it might be a complex thing to describe just with words, so if you want, mention something in the description and I will try breaking it down to you in a different way. You just need to phrase it in a question, and I'll try to answer it the best I can. Ramos, Dragon Engine. We get +1/+1 counters thrown on this whenever we cast a multicolored spell. You throw counters based on how many colors that spell is, and then you can remove 5 counters from this to get double Wooburg. And you can only activate it once a turn, but it's worth it. Our curve is not the best. That just comes with being multicolored tribal here. I normally like to play decks with a curve less than 2. This is 2.3, so I kept it within reason. But the trade-off is we play more lands. We have 36. Normally I play around 33 to 34, depending on the curve. Ishin Two Heavens is 1, doubles our attack trigger from our station, so we will draw double the cards. Super good. Adrix doubles our token production.
Prepare for trouble!
Miri makes it so we can't be attacked as effectively. That means we stave off a bunch of aggro. It's ideal for what we need to be doing. Deathrite Shamans for mana. Aragorn the Unifier. This is just too much value to ignore. You get whatever line of text based on the color of spell. If you cast a spell with multiple colors in it, you get multiple effects. The best ones in here is the green and the white, because then you get bodies and extra power boost to station our station. The other abilities are nothing to scoff at. Like, if you cast a red spell, you deal 3 damage to target opponent, so it's a win condition. If you cast a blue spell, you get to scry 2, which means you get to organize your draws better. Sign of Draco. This is another just value card that was too much to ignore. For each basic land type among lands we control, he costs 2 less. There are 5 land types, so it could cost 2 mana if you have all 5 in play. Now, the kicker of this is you get these sick keywords based on the colors of the creature. So for each creature that's white gets vigilance, everything that's blue that gets hexproof, if it's black it's lifelink, first strike if it's red, trample if it's green. There's a lot of sick, significant keywords. And we do have a lot of creatures, 36 in total. That's just how it's shaped up to be. Unfortunately, a lot of the multicolored permanents in the game that are budget friendly are creatures. That's just how the cookie crumbles. Makes you more vulnerable, but I feel like the pursuit of those sick triggers is worth it, in my opinion. The Locust God. Whenever you draw a card, you make a 1/1 red and blue insect. So be kind of careful with this guy. He could get you killed. You hit with Guideline Station, you make a shitload of these little red-blue insects, and then your draw power doubles with compounding interest, and you could kill yourself by drawing too many cards. There is a world where you could have too many multicolored permanents in play. Zorgo's Stormwinder. Card advantage, and it's a alternative win con with a aristocrat effect. If a token would leave the battlefield, you draw a card if it was attacking. Otherwise, each opponent loses 1 life. So if someone throws a board wipeout when we have a very large board, we punish them. If they block our stuff and our tokens die, we draw cards and refill our hand. It's a really brutal commander.
You're between the rock and a hard case.
I have a buddy that plays this almost exclusively lately, and I lose a lot to this guy. He's really obnoxious with the sack outlet, because then you get to manipulate this thing to high hell. Behemoth Sledge, it gives trample and lifelink. We need to keep our life total nice and high, because people are going to want to punish us for doing 5-color pile things. The enchantments are the next fun thing to talk about. Removal, that also is ramp, is buried in the garden. Stormcolor's Boon, Cascade, enchantment. Detention Sphere removal on a permanent that's 2 colors. Anthem of Champions, it's a 2 mana anthem. Deficiency doesn't get any better. Creature type anthem, you choose robots. The creature you target to give indestructibility doesn't have to be of the same creature type. You have to sacrifice the chosen creature type. So you have to sack a robot in order to give indestructible, but you should have a lot of robots lying around at a certain point. Trace of Abundance gives us bonus mana, 2 colors. Glory Warfare is an anthem effect, 2 colors. Rabble Rousing, this puts in a bunch of tokens on attacks. So you could actually layer the triggers where you put Station on first, put Rabble Rousing on top, Rabble Rousing resolve first, you get a bunch of 1/1 white and green citizen tokens, and then the Station will see those tokens and give you more cards. Pretty darn good. Sharonosity, it's a one-sided and extremely powerful anthem effect. For every creature that attacks, it gets +1/+0 for each other attacking creature that shares a type with it. So our robots, if we attack with 6 robots, they get +5. That's probably enough to kill people. Broker's Ascendancy, it's a delayed anthem effect. You throw counters on our board and step. Frostcliff Siege, another 2-colored anthem effect that also gives trample and haste. Wizard class, another win condition is commander damage. We start drawing cards, we put a bunch of counters on something. We also have no max hand size, which is nice. Windcrag Siege, this is like this another effect that doubles our combat triggers, or attack triggers, I should say. It's in here for the same reason that the Samurai's in here. All Out Assault, it's kind of wordy for what it does. It's an anthem effect, which we like. It's multicolored, which we like. Now, it also gives us an extra combat.
I choose violence.
Ardent Plea, just Cascade on enchantment. Prosodectic Memory, same as the Wizard class. It's a lot more efficient. Like with the Wizard class, we have to invest mana to level this up all the way to get what we want. Pros Memory, it's good to go with 2 mana. That's why it's as expensive as it is, $3.61. I still think it's budget friendly, and it's killer. Any joins up, it's a removal, and it doubles our legendary creature triggers. A pseudo sub-theme of this list is we play a lot of legendary stuff in here, trying to play 2-colored permanents. Leyland the Guild Bag, this is our gasoline of the list. If you really want to win the game quick, this will do it. Or at least it'll draw you an insane amount of cards, because it turns our robots into multicolored permanents. It turns all of our permanents into multicolored permanents, except for lands. Pretty darn scary. This is another one of those cards that if it's in play long enough, it could get you killed. Mari's Wake doubles our mana production and is an anthem effect on 2 colors. Spirit of Resistance, if our commander's in play or one of our invisits, we prevent all damage that's dealt to us. Really good at, dispersing aggro coming our direction. So, really cheap at $4. Never played it before. Looking forward to it. The rest is just lands. Let's go into the budget less version, which is, this is $100. This is $5K. And we go up a bracket. I'm only going to talk about the things that are unique that we got just priced out of. I'm not going to re-talk about the stuff we've already discussed, but if you're looking for upgrades, this is a good place to start and compare. Some of these are just expensive mana dorks. Lotho, Corrupt Sheriff, makes a treasure token every time someone casts a second spell. That happens all the time. Highly recommend you start playing him. He's $5 for a reason. Sig draws his cards. It's on a 1/3 body, so it stuffs out a bunch of aggro. Homosaurus of Arena. Whenever it attacks, each opponent loses life where X number of attacking creatures. So once our robots start going in at people and not just being used as bodies to station this thing will start racking up a lot of life loss. The other cool part about them is you could sack a creature, gain 2 life, and draw a card. Lightning, Army of 1. Final Fantasy card. Deals damage to a player until your next turn. If a source would deal damage to a player, you deal double the damage. What's kind of cool about her is she's got First Strike and Trample, so she's kind of hard to kill in combat. And if you do get a hit on someone, you just attack the most vulnerable person. You get a pretty sick trigger. The other thing about the First Strike, why that's significant, is it's harder for people to trade with her. On top of when we have other things attacking, we double their triggers. Some of them beforehand. Unfortunately, Guideline Station will trigger before she will trigger, but we have so many other things in our deck. Like if we're just attacking with all of our robots, all the damage output from them becomes doubled because of her. So it was just low-hanging fruit I couldn't ignore. So it's in here. It's a threatening 2-colored permanent. Jetmir, that's a super anthem. We get, I guess, tiers of keywords and stat increases based on our creature count. So at max, we get +3/+0, double strike, trample, and vigilance. If you get to the double strike, then you should be able to win the moment you swing out, because that's 9 creatures going at people's directions. Aurelia, we get double attack triggers, which goes great with Guideline Station. We get attack with them twice. If you want to include a lot of extra combat stuff in this list, it goes well with Guideline Station. I just prefer it as 2 colors. I want to keep that theme, so I didn't go too crazy with the extra combats, but if you wanted to, it fits quite nicely. Amulet of Vigor. It's just a Archellos, but much more efficiently costed. It's one-sided too. Coat of Arms. We get the super buff our robots. Now this is symmetrical, so you have to be kind of careful if you're playing against another tribal deck or a deck that makes a lot of tokens.
Time out. Bad idea.
This might be a dead card in here because they'll get a bigger buff than you will. It's a little situational, but it's worth it. Aura Shards. We make a lot of little robot bodies. We have to blow up a bunch of permanents. What's not to love? War Leader's Call. We get a Aristocrat effect and an Anthem in 1 card. And it's 2 colors. And that is it. We got some expensive lands over here. That's the bulk of our price increase here. Honestly, if you took a lot of these out and kept the mana base from over here, you're only looking at maybe $100 increase from this list. So take that in consideration. If you want to do upgrades, I just focus on the stuff I talked about in this list that was uniquely different than what was over here. Those should be your first targets. I wouldn't be going for any sweet lands, because, you know, like, it makes your game smoother, but does it introduce any fun? Does it make your deck more powerful? Not really. It just makes it more consistent in terms of preventing cards from getting stuck in your hand. That's really the only difference, but I do feel like I accomplished that with this mana base here. The difference is the lands come in tapped. We shouldn't have cards stuck in our hand because we don't have our colors. They'll be stuck in our hand because in order to have our colors consistently, our stuff has to come in tapped. And I didn't want to invest too much more than $10 on my budget list for just mana base, because that doesn't win us the game. And that's just a build philosophy. You could disagree if you want in the comments. But that is it. I hope you enjoyed the station. I hope you learned a lot in terms of build theory and crafting around this commander. The next list I will be doing is Kilo. He's the proliferating Jeskai commander from this set. I've been having a lot of fun. I'm finished with that list, so I'm going to record that soon. But hope you all had a fun time. If you like what you saw, subscribe. I'll treat you good. Bye.